Hello, good morning, happy Sunday. We're getting back into some Screeps today. So let's go ahead and load up the game. Over here, please. Um, all right, so Spawn and Swamp. We're continuing to sort of build into this. Right now, what we have is we've redone our collections. So we don't have any attackers yet. Instead, what we do is we build 3 collectors. They're very small, basic creeps. They move out, they form a line, and then they just start grabbing. They start grabbing these information, no energy from the containers, and then passing it along, which drains it decently fast. So next, we need to work on creating some kind of military to do something about this. So what I'm thinking about is, oh, and I want to move my. I've been putting my chat underneath here to make it a little bit easier to read recently. There we go. All right, so what I'm thinking about is next creating so initially I was thinking I wanted to create just a gigantic ranger unit that's so big that it can't move, and then create a tower that would tow that unit around and essentially move it around. But I was thinking that it might actually be better to create a very fast unit that can move and just do a little bit of attacking. And then if it can move and attack and heal itself, potentially better than its opponents, then we can like counter essentially whatever we're coming up against. Hello, stacking. So there is a very interesting and fascinating sort of system that we can do. So a thing that we can build. Let's see if we can open up the documentation. It's something that is in the base MMO world game, and I don't think I've ever really. I think it's been long enough that I sort of forgot about this. There's these extensions that we can build. So, extension contains energy that can be spent on spawning bigger creeps. Extensions can be placed anywhere. Any spawns will be able to use them regardless of distance. Capacity is 100, so it can only store 100 energy. But this would allow me to build. So let's see. Back to here. This spawn here can build stores 1000 energy. So an extra extension would give me 100 more, which might be another attack piece, another like 2 move pieces, basically making bigger and bigger and bigger creeps. Potentially that's something we can do. However, it also says that it costs 200 to make and it only stores 100. So there would definitely be a point where I'm not like I'm spending more time building those and losing like half my energy so I can build just a couple really huge creeps. I don't know if that's a good idea. Pollux, hello. So I'm currently thinking, what if I make something really fast and just with a little bit of attack, and then I spend some time on micro to make sure it's always out of range and trying to heal itself, get out of range, come back and attack, get out of range, come back and attack. And basically, if it can do that over time, it wins. Um, so let's start with building these military units. Um, Pollux, hello. How are you doing today? All right. So in Screeps, let's bring up Swamp. Excellent. I'm doing pretty good. It's I was able to take a nice long bike ride yesterday, and I think I like my new schedule of Wednesdays and Saturdays doing these long bike rides, which is um, definitely feeling better than just being cooped up inside of a house staring at a screen all day every day. Okay. So we have that's your job too. What a surprise, right? You want to ride your bicycle? You want to ride your bike? Bicycle. So I it's a bicycle. I don't have a any other types of bikes. Okay, so we have our spawner here, which run spawner. We've taken a spawn. We've taken this game state. So we've created this game state that's sort of like, hey, we want these. Now, after we've done our initial collectors, I think then it's just we want military. That's all we want. You gave me an easy sick reference. You lobbed it to you. As you know, I am terrible at getting those, so I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This same thing happens to me at my day job, that like people give me references to like anything in like popular media, and I just sort of like, what? And then they just shake their head and walk away, or change the topic or something. Queen bicycle. I'm still in that confused state. I'm so sorry, Stacking. I I do sometimes take stuff too literally. It's an art. No, it's just, oh, it's an art to read between the lines. It's I think also once I get sort of like focused on something and starting to think about something, it's really hard for me to like jump to something else. I just sort of like don't recall things very easily. So I might be able to get it later. Also, there's been a few times where I'm like immediately after the stream, I'm like, oh, now I get it. When it doesn't matter anymore. Cool. Okay. That's fun. So sorry about that. Okay, so what do I want to do? I want to do in spawner. If we have our initials, can't do it either unless you talk to people for like a few hours. I think for me it's like context and a lot of other things. Usually though, I just switch to making jokes about how I don't get any of the stuff, and then that's fine. Or you just take it as practice of being vulnerable in front of a bunch of people. Just not getting anything is fine. Everything is fine. Okay, so run spawner. If we have collectors, okay, so if we have this else, I do want to try to spawn a creep. We're gonna spawn a military creep, and okay, so initial collector body. Let's create a military unit. So const military body. All right, so this is gonna be a part. How many are we going to have? That's a good question. Let's say like 5. It's gonna be more than that. So I remember looking through on, was it the Screeps Discord? Okay, there's a useful links section in the Screeps Discord, and they have um they posted a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so not programming. We want where is it? Power creep body regular. Okay, so a regular creep body calculator. Oh, it's gone. Oh, wait, no, it's not gone. Yes, I am human. Ah, yes, every image that contains a horse. But there's cats and lions. And wait, no, that's dog. Congratulations. I have proven beyond a reasonable doubt that I am absolutely human. I wonder if I'm gonna have to do it again now that I'm just copying the URL and bringing it over to this brand. Nope, we're good here. Okay, so this browser, it doesn't care if I'm a human or not. Okay, so what I want to do is we have 1,000 energy to work with. So how do I use this? I want. Yes, we have the move that we're creating, energy. Balance 12.9k? That doesn't seem right, but okay, so units 1. Oh, here it is. So spawn has okay, so I have one spawn. And then I guess we'll just pretend we have extensions up until it's 1,000. So I need 700, 7 of these. No. Oh, weird. I can't set what those are, what prices those were. So 900 is as close as I can get. Wonder if I can. Oh, here we go. Okay, 2 spawns, 2 extensions. That gives me a 1,000. All right, so oh, this also works. Okay, so 1 controller. All right, so I obviously need move parts. I need, so I want a heal part. I want a ranged tech part. So far that's 150 and 250. Let's double check that this is accurate, because this looks like it's a calculation for Screep worlds, and I don't know if it's the same cost when creating a creep. So here is this range attack is 150. 150 heal is 250. I wonder, because that's really expensive. I wonder if I'm gonna need to create a separate healer then. I was really hoping that I can have them heal themselves, which would be really nice. And then essentially if I do the rest on moves, so this is what I get for 1,000. 14 parts. Walk time. Oh, nice. Okay, swamp is 1. So if I increase like the range attack by 1, let's say, so then I have to decrease move. Swamp is now 2. So it takes me 2 ticks to go 1 move, 1 space in a swamp, which really sucks because this is all swamp. So that's not great. Now, for chance, we could remove this down. I could also include an attack. And 2 toughs. Well, that gives me now 3, which is still not very, like, this is still pretty slow. I want these to be fast. So, move tough. Move you. Oh, just at this point, if I reduce down a move, so this is what it's got to be. 10 for these. Okay, so is there anything else that I want to add in? I have 100 in here. I could add in, I guess, like another move and a tough. No, I can't. That's it. I just add in 2 moves. That will give me a little bit more. So this is the maximum size that I can get. It costs 1,000. It can heal itself. It can do a little bit of damage, but it can zip around the map really fast. So the idea here would be it moves just into within range and fires, and then maybe like keeps out of range, and it heals itself constantly. If it gets damaged, it then moves back out. Have I seen bun.js? So I've heard a lot about it. I haven't looked into it. So from what I understand, Bun is a brand new, still in like very early stages, runtime for JavaScript that's really, really focused on running as fast as possible. I can see it being extremely useful for like Lambda functions, for even potentially things like this, like Screeps plain, because there's no spin up time. It just starts running your code like that. I also wonder if it would pair really well with WebAssembly. It's like maybe then if we have like a JavaScript runtime where a lot of stuff is on JavaScript, but we want to run a little bit of Rust code in the form of WebAssembly, maybe that could be like a faster way of running stuff than Node.js. That could be good. They wrote it on Zig. I haven't looked at Zig. Zig is a language written with Rust, right? Or am I thinking about something else? I don't really know anything about Zig. I guess like I've heard people talk about it and say that they really like it, but besides that, I don't really know anything. All right, so this is what we want. We want 12 move parts. So this is 14 total. Okay, Focusaurus, hello. Zig is completely and totally separate from Rust. Okay, good to know. So in that case, the only thing that I know about Zig is that it exists. That's it. Alex. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can load up what that link was. Was it a link to Zig? Let's see. That was... Oh yeah, that was a link to Zig Lang. is a general purpose programming language and tool chain for maintaining robust, optimal, and reusable software. Okay. It looks fairly standard for programming language syntax. I like it. Typings is always nice also. Nice. Just cause a bun, Zig went supernova. That happens sometimes, doesn't it? Like, it's just going along, and then somebody uses something that you're using, and then that goes big, and then of course people want to just look into what it's made with, and bam, there we go. Lots of Rust folks also like Zig. It's reputed to be smaller and therefore easier to learn. Interesting. Okay, we might check it out sometime in the future. I still have like so many projects in mind that I want to do with Rust, especially some of the courses. But what I am going to do is add this into my list. Is my inbox there. So this is going to be check out Zig language, and then a link to the language. Another one. All right, let's take a look at this. Oh, okay. So it's a blog post on somebody switching from Rust to Zig. Interesting. Okay. So just looking at this. Well, it's not that Twitch doesn't like the links. Is that I turned off the links, and Nightbot specifically does a micro ban whenever it detects links that are to domains that like I haven't explicitly said are okay. We did that because we just had several times that people came in and spammed extremely bad links. And so I just was like, okay, there's a few people that I trust. You get in and you can do links. Otherwise, no. So sorry about that. But anyways, this is what that looks like. It looks fine. So I will post this here. Another place that people do share links that I don't turn them off would be the Discord. So if you do want to share them there, that's also that is also fine. I have a link to Discord here. Okay, so let's get back to this. We're gonna build a body of 14 size. That's what it's gonna be. Where's my code? Here you are. So 14, a little bit off from 5. All right, so it is going to be 12 moves. The order of this is absolutely important. So part, move. Okay, so copy. All right, so this is, oh, you know what I can do? Multi-line. Okay, so copy, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Next up is a ranged attack and a heal. A ranged attack and a heal. Part, ranged attack, part, heal. I want these to be in this order because when we get attacked, it starts damaging and destroying the parts from top to bottom. So as long as the heal is in existence, I could be completely disabled, not be able to move around, not even be able to attack. But if I have my heal, I can heal myself back up to full over time. Okay, so here we could then run this. So let's see. Run spawner. Okay, we're gonna spawn creep. So this one is gonna be spawn creep. Our body is gonna be referenced to military body. Pass it in the spawn role. Okay, so I need a new role, which is this is gonna be just military. I don't think I have anything else for this, right? No, I think we're good. Okay. Okay, pass in. All right, the role is going to be role military. Game state. Oh, just pass in a game state, and I don't care what the return code is. Just attempt to make this. And then down here, return you. Oh, you return a... Okay, you return a result already. Never mind. We just do that. Either way, spawn creep returns out, and that's a result. Okay, so this should start spawning really, really big creeps. I do have an error still. This is in my platform. Oh, okay, hold on. I want to just fix all these really quickly. I was in the middle of building something. Well, that's okay. That was fast. Do I know any workflow engine for Node that I like or used? What do you mean by workflow engine? I'm not. I don't know if I don't know if I use those terms. Like I would know it under those terms. I might know it under something else. Okay, so I want to just try this out. Oh, we need to actually run this. Like a flow chart to do automation. So are you talking about like a GUI tool that you use to create that, or are you talking about like planning it out? It sounds like you're talking about like a GUI tool that allows you to plan out automation. I don't think like most of the automation that I've ever made is just writing a small tool that does that little piece of the automation and then writing another script to sort of stitch them all together. I don't usually use a GUI tool for like a flow chart or something else to sort of have them work in a specific order and then move them around. So I've never done that. So no for the back end, but it still still don't do anything with like flowcharty type stuff. It'd be more of like creating little small programs, small little automation things, and then running from that. Let me take a look at that. A fast and reliable flow engine for orchestration and more used in Node.js, Deno, and the browser. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done this kind of thing. So parallel execution, order to run tasks in parallel. You don't have to do anything, simply adding them to a flow and they will run in parallel. Of course, if they don't have a dependency on each other. Yeah, so no, I've never really done anything like this. So I don't have a favorite. I think the things that I'm usually focused on are, I usually do like one small app focused on that and use HTTP requests to sort of send them back out. And I might have a controlling app that sort of orchestrates between them all. But generally speaking, I don't do that within an app. So yeah, I don't have any experience with that. So sorry. All right, so we're gonna do a Docker Docker run. No, Docker start because it's already going. Screeps Arena. Okay, so with Docker exec into Screeps and then we'll cargo watch. Yeah, it seems not too hard, but just asking around. Yeah, I mean, it certainly sounds interesting. If you do try it and you absolutely love it, let me know. We could take a look at it. Okay, so can I find warn macro in this scope? This is library libeline 83. So I went through and like removed a bunch of things to cause warnings, and I think that was a problem. So you okay, import that. That's what it is. Okay, so I need to tell you to do so it's like this, bang, allow dead code. Oh, it's unused imports. Unused imports. There you go. You'll be happy now. Okay, so you're good. We can come back to here. Let's rerun this, and I want to see us create these just gigantic warrior units. And we should be able to get it out decently fast because we're going to have these creeps just sort of sending. Oh, not enough energy. Okay, so, well, that's a problem. So what's happening here? So in spawner, spawn creep, I get... Oh, I bailed not enough energy. I don't want to bail on not enough energy. I just want to ignore this. I want the opposite. Okay, actually what I want to do is like essentially just warn this. Okay, so you're... If you do this thing, I don't really care about this. Let's switch to a warn. Import long warn. Okay, not enough energy. Why are you... Log warn. Oh, because you expect this error code. Okay, so I kind of want to just switch this from a match. Because like there's there's no use for this error here whatsoever. So I kind of want to just do an if let okay, get the creep equals this. Don't need you. That goes down to you. And don't need any of you. And then we return, then no matter what, I return okay. So if let okay creep out of here, I then have initial collectors, increase that. Now, there's another thing is like, this is just always assuming that we're spawning an initial collector, which is not true. That's only true if the role, okay, so if let okay if creep this thing. Now here I want to match the role. None, I want this. Okay. I do probably want this to be an error. So we're gonna bail and say attempting to spawn creep with no role. Initial collector, I want this to happen. Military. I don't know if I want to track this, but maybe it's good to track the number of military units that we have. I don't know if I really need to. So, I guess we could warn. No, yeah, warn. Spawning military unit, and then roll add to. We add the roll to the creep, and there we go. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so it follows the finite state machine pattern. Finite state patterns are fun. It's basically enums in Rust. We've done a few for games that we've made. And we might be doing finite state machines here in Screeps too. All right, so now we just start dumping energy into here to get this up to 1000 as quickly as possible. Let's see what tick we're on when we fill it up enough to get our big giant creep. Okay, tick number 50 is when we get to start spawning it. Okay, so that's our big. That starts building. So we see, okay, spawning military unit. Error, didn't find the positions for the initial creep collectors. This is run initial collector line 56. Okay, so we're bailing out of here. So we have early returns happening. So this means that it failed to match inside of here. We have game state. We have a creep ID. If the set ID is this, What am I doing with that? Okay, let's head back. I guess it wouldn't be there. It would be... Oh, it's mod in here. So here's this run. Oh, yeah, look at this. For my creep and my creeps, we just run the initial collector. So we need to add in the role. So we need to extract the role from the creep to know if we should run it from that. Like, what is your role? Okay. So that, let's go back into role. So I have toString default role. I kind of want to do a from. So impl from. I want to take in a reference to a creep. So from a creep for role. Okay. So given this creep, what do we need? How do I create a role from a reference to a creep? I need to extract the role from the creep. The role gets put in here, like that. So we're going to reflect it out. So and I guess we do the toString here to compare it with too, which might be helpful. So I need to extract out the role. Okay. So I think that reflect get also is that an option? Let's find out. Reflect get. This returns a result. Okay, so if you're a result, we can match on you, and if you're an error, we'll do something. I don't really care about the error directly, so we're gonna just do if let okay. So this is the JS role. Feel like I just got that in times. And 3 sneezes too. That's fun. Okay, so I want to get this JS role reflect equals okay JS get. All right, target is going to be the creep, which is a reference to a creep. Key is going to be a reference to a JS value from stir role. Okay, so I have this JS role, which is a JS value, and we know that it's a string. So I should be able to extract this out, which I believe also gives me a result. So if let okay, and this is going to be the actual role string. JS role dot as string. Oh, it's an option. Okay, so it's an option. So it's if let sum. Okay, so now I have the role string. If you're an else, I want to probably just want to warn. Warn could not get role string off of creep object. and then we'll panic. All right, now if we get to this point, I wonder if I should do a try from. That might be better. Is there a try from? I think there is, right? Consider importing one of these items. Okay, import you. So then your try from, like that. Not all trait items implemented missing error. Oh, okay. I think this is slightly different. Hold on, let me comment you out. Okay, so type error equals I want this to be the same type of error that I do with error, which is can I use that? Okay, I think I can do that. Okay. Okay, so value is creep, so you're a creep. Okay, so then it's going to be very similar to this. This is a result here, which means we can start, maybe we can start doing question marks with it. I don't know. Let's find out. So if I take you, pull you in here. Okay, so I want to say let JS role equals select get. Okay, so pass in the creep. That's to JS value from stir role. Okay. Can I question mark you and will you be happy? You will not be happy. Because I can't determine exactly what kind of result this is. I can't say that this is a error result. Is that true? I don't know if I can do that here. So like you need to be an error result. You are gonna be an actual result. Okay, what are you upset about? That I'm not returning nothing. I'm not returning anything. Okay, so we'll do that right now. Oh, I guess this would be a self. We'll get to that later. I will do a to do. All right, you're upset because used in question mark to decide whether the operator should produce value. Okay, so you're the wrong type of what? Mute U8. So that's so weird of a thing. Okay, I think I can convert you into a different type of error, right? Like, okay. Wrap the expansion in a result. Okay, no. I don't want to do just a plain unwrap. Oh, fine. Okay, we'll do an if let. Okay. Just roll there. All right, so we get this. If it's okay and we got this out successfully, then I want to now turn this into a the string, right? So let roll string equals JS roll as string okay or, and this one is going to be a can I just bail from here? I don't know if I can bail for this. For bail, I think I have to actually give it like an error. But this would be error getting roll from creep object. No, you're happy. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and then I can question mark you. Maybe. Unreachable call. Really? Why are you unreachable? So I do an as string, which is an option. So if it's okay or, I guess like the bail is like doing something that I don't want it to do. So I think that there's a error object that I can use. So error. Like that. Okay. And then here I could say error getting roll from creep object. There we go. Now we're happy. Okay, so now I have the roll string. I now want to convert this into an actual roll. So I'm going to so if let. So if we're all in here, we're going to do a return at this point. So this would be an okay with a match. The roll string. Okay, so route string, I also want this to be an as ref or as stir. So I could say if you're a none, you are a self none. If you are an initial collector, self initial collector, and finally if you're military and then if you're anything else, I do want to bail at this point in time and say unknown roll. Okay, I do not semicolon this. We do an else here, and then at this point of time, if we don't have a roll, I do want to bail. So bail, and we'll say this one is error getting the roll from creep object. I getting the raw roll, like the JS value roll, and this is the roll string. And no errors. Okay, so now I can do a try from in the main here. So I want to, because I'm returning a result, I can just question mark this. It should be fairly simple. So we can match, and I want to get the roll. Let's just do it in one line at a time for this. So the creep roll, it's going to be equal to, I want roll try from my creep question mark u That would have been so much better if I had actually imported it. No variant. Try from. Okay, so hold on. It's something else. So there's the from. There it is. Try from. Like that. Okay. My creep. Question mark you. And there we go. We have our role. And then we can match on the creep role. All right, so if we have none, this is clearly a problem. So I want to then fail. This is trying to run a creep without a role. All right, initial collector. So that's what this is. Run this here. No semicolon. Next up would be military. So that's the next thing to run the military one. So for you, I guess I don't have this here, so let's add you in. Run military. All right, so we're probably going to take ourselves. So our, myself, my own creep. So, creep, you are a reference to a creep. Probably need other things too, but I guess we could just start with this right now. We're going to turn a result, probably with nothing in it. We'll start with this. And we'll add things in as we need it. All right, so back to you. We will run you right away. I just want people to go in and sort of like see this work running. So we're gonna say run military. Pass it in my creep. And question mark. Okay, you should be happy. We should be able to now come back to you and create a bunch of military units, which I think we did. I think that's what was happening here. So we know that it starts around tick 50. Okay, creating that. That's great. Spawning military unit. This military unit comes out on, it looks like tick 92. We get that. And here is this huge creep. But it's fast, which means that we can send it over to the other side really quickly. Okay, so what do we want to do? Well, in the case of our current opponent, which doesn't do anything, we just move over to the opponent's spawn and kill them. So I guess that's one thing is let's find if there's any opponents who are alive. So I want the enemy creeps and to pass them in. So enemies is going to be a reference to a vec of creep. All right, so how is this going to work? I want to, I guess, like if this is empty first. So if enemies is empty, there's nothing here to do. So let's go ahead and we also need enemy spawn. Okay, so I want to kill the opponent, move to the enemy spawn, and attack it. So um, I might as well move right up to it and attack it there. So this will be creep dot. I guess first we'll move to enemy spawn, and then creep dot ranged attack the enemy spawn. And that's it. That's all I care to do, if that's the only thing that exists. Lumicode, hello. It's obviously going to get significantly more difficult if when we have an opponent to attack. So let's make sure that this works to begin with. How are you doing today, Lumicode? All right, so we know it's not until like tick 90 something that our first one comes out. I'm doing pretty good. Yes, thank you. You know, I should fix my errors because I'm saying that we're taking in enemies and enemy spawn, and then I'm not actually doing anything from that. So I have my creeps, containers. I don't keep track of the enemies yet. Let's grab that. So enemies equals get creeps false, so they're not mine. And then I want let enemy spawn get spawn false, so it's not mine. Okay. Then I want to. Okay, what's next? You want the enemies. So enemies, and you want enemy spawn. Oh, there's only one enemy spawn guaranteed. So I can do get spawn. Interesting. That's an option. I guess it's because it might not exist. So, but I can safely unwrap this. Okay. You know what I can do? I can do the okay or, just in the case that something terrible goes awry here, we can say error getting enemy spawn. Oh, and then question mark. There we go. Let's try this again. Victory. Okay, so we killed them at 300 something ticks, which is actually pretty good. I think before we were winning at like 500 something. Oh no, it's all dark. This happens every once in a while. Well, that's too bad. We'll have to do it again. There we go. Okay. So we move to around frame 90. Then our big giant creep comes out and it just starts moving on its way to go attack. So let's watch it. It should move at the same pace through the swamp than it's doing right now, which it is. It just completely ignores that swamp. So that's working as expected, which is great. Okay, so we fast forward a little bit, and this creep makes its way over to our opponent. It's just going to get right up next to its business, and then start attacking it. Now this takes a while to kill it because I don't do that much damage, and this the spawn has 3,000 hit points. It looks like I'm doing 10 damage per shot here. So it actually takes a significant amount of time for me to kill it. We get multiple creeps sort of working with this, but it's all the way up until here. Then we finally win. Okay. Now that's just a rush. We could try playing this against an enemy. I would imagine that this won't work. Like this can't possibly work, right? Let's play against one enemy, and let's see. We've got to lose. Like, but how do we lose? Do they just kill us first, or do we lose because they kill our creeps instead of just rushing us and attacking us somehow faster with better creeps? It's a draw. It's a draw. How did that happen? Okay, we are over here on the right. Our opponents are over here on the left. And so we're building our bridge. They are doing what looks to be the traditional method of setting up the... Oh, they have... Look at this. Their creep has 1, 2, 3, 4 carry parts. So it can carry 400 at a time. No, 200 at a time. Each one is 50. But they only create... So that takes them a long time. So we actually have... I don't know. It's going to be two different types of sort of economies here. Is this big enough for you to see? Can you see, like, my creeps over here sort of doing their thing? Their creeps doing their thing. Okay, we have a bug here. Look at this. Store 288, 289. This is going up very slowly. You're not doing this correctly. So my bug is that when we're on the right hand side, this creep has no energy in it. So this creep over here, okay, I want to see the order in which these came out. You came out, you went into the correct first position. So that's kind of what we expected. Then the next one came out. And then the next one. Okay. So you should be grabbing the right ones, but you're not. Okay, so run the initial collector. Okay, so you also have a container, structure container. Get the collector index. Oh, I wonder if I'm trying to, like, I put myself in the correct position, but I got the wrong containers. Well, that doesn't seem right. Containers is container 0, containers. Okay. Get used capacity. So this is all the containers. Oh, it's trying to get the wrong one. It's just literally assuming that the first one is the closest one, but that's not correct. I want the closest ones to me. Okay, so all right, well that's a thing. So filter get used capacities with this is none. I also need to filter container. I can get the x and y coordinates, and if the x coordinate is within like 5 of my x coordinate. Okay, so this container dot x, if this, so looking at you, your position is 98 and this position is 94. So that's within 4. Over here, your position is 5 and 1. So I could just set this up equal and just say like, hey, if your x is 1, I think it's more of like if your x is 4 minus. Yeah, if your x is 4 minus or 4 plus. Okay, so if container x is within 4. How can I do that? Math time. So if I subtract the if I subtract the container.x minus the my spawn dot x, if I take this and get the absolute value of that, what contains the absolute difference with basic usage being nothing. Cool. I want absolute value. Let's do this in multi-line. Okay, so if I do so this is the difference between the container x position and my spawn x position. So these are x diff equals container to x minus my spawn dot x. Okay, that's a U8. Then I want to turn this into an absolute value. So if xdiff dot oh, it's a U8. Oh, well, that's a problem. That's a problem because one of these will make these go negative, and that will be an underflow. So I need, okay, so xdiff equals if we need to see which side we're on. So if let's just do this really easily up here. If we just say Okay. Well, I want to do this as, I don't know if I want to put this like over here. Maybe I'll put this into our utilities. I'm just going to create a pub enum side. Like what side are we on? We're on the left side. We're on the right side. That's it. That's all I really care about here. So then back to here to determine what side we're on. I want after we get my spawn, we can do let side, my side, equals, okay, so if my spawn dot x if my spawn dot x is less than like 20, then we are returning this as side left. Else side right. And then in here, we can then just see, okay, if we're in match my side. I wonder if I need to move for this. Oh, I don't care. If you take ownership, it'll be fine. Okay, build match arms. Okay, so if we are on the left-hand side, I want to filter the container. So if the container.x is equal to the my spawn dot x minus 4. So keep you if we do that one. Otherwise, if you're on the right hand side, container dot x is equal to my spawn dot x plus 4. And then we'll collect you. Then we'll just be grabbing you from the first one of those. That should work. Let's find out. Oh, I didn't need it. Oh, whatever. We're playing a new game with this. I guess we have to play a new game to find out if it works on the right-hand side. These games are taking a lot longer to run. McFeudasol, hello. No, I did that backwards. McFeudasol, did I say T first? Well, anyways, hello, welcome. Games in Rust, yes. Okay, defeat, not surprising. That's a lot of ticks for us to last before we died when all we're doing is rushing the enemy and trying to kill. But here we are on the right-hand side, so I want to see whether or not we successfully start collecting, which it doesn't look like we are. So that... Oh, okay, now it does. Never mind. Okay, so we should now, at our standard, yep, tick 50, around 90, we get our first military unit. You don't do anything because there are enemies around. So they have big ranged attack units. which is probably a problem. That's a fairly big military. But they're really slow. They have a single move. They have an absolute single move. So if we play our game right with this, play our game right, play our cards right, we could still devastate that army. Because we should be able to just move in, hit, move away, heal, move in, hit, move away, heal. And we could probably go in and kill their healers really quickly. So, all right. Strategy for military. We're going to use this team to sort of see if we can get fighting them. Also, we now have an unreachable area, so that's a problem. When did you start happening? On tick 340, we got an unreachable. An unreachable is some kind of unwrap. If we were handling this properly, we wouldn't run into that. So, do I have a unwrap? That's the question marks are fine. Don't see one there. $340. Wait, did I run out? At 3? Oh, no. That's not how I move right. Okay, 340. Oh, I ran out of okay, so the error is actually probably that I panicked when we ran out of energy here. Okay, so that's good to know. So around 340 we run out of energy, and it's time to then send these guys out to do their thing. So I want to work on military first, get a basic military going, and then we send those creeps out to do something else. What stack am I using to build this? So the game is called Screeps Arena. It normally takes in JavaScript, but we are using Rust to compile to WebAssembly and then use that to play the game. So that's what's going on here. So I guess like Rust, there's a Rusty Screeps library that I'm using, and then Docker to sort of compile it all together. The game itself, I don't know what it's made in. I would assume it's made that there's some JavaScript stuff going on behind the scenes, but they could also make it in pretty much anything, really. Okay, so I am going to... No, I'm not going to completely ignore that error. So for the run initial collectors, that's in the role. We have all these containers. This is fine. Let's see, under mod. Okay, so if you're an initial collector, when you run out of containers, so there is none left, and this is right. So this is the problem right now. We have a 0 length in the containers. I need to say if containers is not empty, What? How did I? Okay. No. Include run, please. Okay. But not that final one. So cut you out. Put you in here. Do that. You get a semicolon there. You're fine, and then you're fine. Okay. So only if the containers are not empty, then we run it. Great. So that should solve that error. Now, military. Military, what do we want to do? So they build this entire big military up, but they're very slow. Even on normal ground, they're very slow. So if they have an enemy, I guess like if they have a healer, I want to target them first, and then my advantage is that I'm very fast. So I want to run in, get a single hit off, run back out, and then basically like just keep on doing that until I guess like until they're dead. So okay, so creeps are not empty. There are enemies. I guess right here we're gonna do a return. Okay, do an early return. Then I can just be out here. I don't have to be in an else statement. Okay, so how do I know where to run? So if I have full health, okay, so then basically it's going to be if I have full health. So if my health is full, then I run in to attack. If my health is empty, and I want to probably handle that first. So if creep dot the current amount of hit points this creep. Okay, so if my hits is less than creep dot hits max, do I want to just run home? Like I could just run to my spawn. Like that would probably be like the easiest way to do it. My spawn. So structure spawn. And we'll move there. So creep dot move to my spawn. None. Okay, so that's just a move in that direction. But regardless, no matter what I'm doing, I should be healing myself because I have a heal part. So creep dot heal creep. So heal myself. Regardless what happens, heal myself. I mean, I could also do that if I'm less than its max. Maybe I should do that. There we go. This should probably go at the very top. Move home if we've been injured, and heal ourselves. As soon as we've healed ourselves, then we can check to see, hey, are there any enemies left? No? Okay, let's go kill their spawn. Yes? Okay. There are enemies left. That means I need to find probably we can find like the closest ranger maybe. I could say like if I have a target and maybe I add a target in there. I almost like the idea of just assigning, um, like basically saying like, do I have a target in mind? I had added maybe like the idea of a creep that I want to kill. If I don't have an idea of a creep I want to kill, then I go look for a target and then add it into myself. And so I could sort of extract out to see, do I have a target? So I kind of like that idea. And then if I do have a target, we just move back to go attack that again. And so we just go back and forth. That might work. Okay, so we'll do this fairly simple first, and then we'll just sort of see where that gets us. So I want to find a target. I want to find a target that I already have in, assigned to me. So we'll do a function get assigned target. You take in creep, and you're going to return a result with I think it's a U64. I forget what the IDs are. They might be F64s. We'll find out really quickly. Okay, I'll throw a to-do in here. All right, so first of all, we're going to throw this into a target on this. So we're going to do a if let okay this is JS target. I want the target ID. That's not how it works. That's how it works. Okay. So we get the target ID from this. That gives us this JS target, which is a JS value, which should be a number. So I guess just to make sure that this is working, let's assign because I think the ID, what are we getting from an ID? It's a good question. So if I do group.id to JS string, the unique ID of this object you can use in get object by ID. Great. It's a JS string. But I think that's a number, which is kind of weird. I kind of want to reflect the ID out directly. Well, let's handle this right now. So you attempt to get this thing, and I think it's an else because you don't exist. This is undefined. So I kind of want to know, like, is that going to be here? So Warren did not find, let's say, in else did not find target ID. Or is that in here? In okay, did find target ID. I'm really curious. You sure? Let's just okay and like 1. What? Why not? Hard code the ID. What could possibly go wrong here? Okay, that's great. We get you. Run military. I want to. If enemies is empty. Okay, so then we get down here. We know we have an enemy at this point in time. So I want to get the assigned target. So I probably want this to be an option, don't I? In the case that it doesn't exist. So for right now, I'm just going to run get assigned target, pass it in my creep, and do that. I don't really care. I just want to see what this is. Oh, and you're not a tuple. You're just that. Okay. Mod, you need to return now my spawn, I believe. Okay, I want to start playing against Mind Masher now, and see if we can. It should be exactly the same game. Everything should happen exactly the same way, but I want to now just start replaying that over and over again until eventually we win. Maybe today we can get to that point. Oh, right, I forgot. This takes so long. Let's just start watching it. In OK, did find target ID. Okay, so that's really good to know. Run military. We're in OK. We did find the target ID, which is, we didn't put a target ID in there. So it's if we get to this point, we absolutely know we can just bail. So error getting target from creep. Okay. So we're inside of here. We've got the JS target. Now, the next thing is going to be a little bit interesting, isn't it? So each of these creeps, the ID is a number. But if we look at the documentation, can I see creep? No, it's game object, not that. It's game object. ID is a string. The unique ID of this object that you can use in game utils. Okay, so that's a thing. So it's a string. So the next thing is going to be an option. So I want to do if let. No, we're just going to straight get this out. It's going to be an option, I believe, and we're going to turn it into an error and return that. So let oh no, I don't want to do that. If it's no option, okay, here's where we're going to return an option with a result. Result with an option inside of it here. I believe this might actually have to be an F64. Hold on. Still doing to do. So actually, if we get to this point, actually, I don't know if we're going to need that because it knows that the else is going to bail. So this might be fine. Okay, so if we're in here, I want to extract out. So if let sum This is going to be a string target equals JS target as string, which turns this option string. So if you're here, we now have this one. Let's go ahead and warn we'll do a target string target there. Otherwise, it's a none. We do not have, it's an okay, none. We do not have a target to do. We do a warn and sure, we also, I guess this is a string at this point. So you are going to be a okay sum string target. Can I reference you here? Does that work? No, does not work. Okay, let's try this again. So I spawn a bunch of military units. Am I never gonna get... Wait. No, I don't have any errors. Get assigned target. I do run the get assigned target. That's never happening. So that must be a none. I must be getting a none here. So it must not be a string. Okay. That's the only thing I can think about because we have enemies here. There's clearly an army on its way to us. Okay, so it must not be a string. Oh, right. I forgot. There's a way for me to tell what this is. We can say type of well, we can store this any way we want, can't we? But let's see if we can find out like what our self is. It's like type of target type of ID. And I want to do creep dot ID dot JS type of, which is a string dot as string. So this will tell me exactly what the type of this string is. ID gives me a JS string. Type of gives me a JS value. As string gives me an option. Okay. And unwrap you. We've looked at this before, and I keep on forgetting exactly what it is. Okay, so no errors. Should be good. Let's do this again. Type of ID number. Okay, excellent. So it's going to be a number. It's going to be a number. Cool. So I'm going to store it in exactly the same format that it's stored on that ID. So JS target dot string bool F64 is the best we can do. So it's an F64. Can I disable pretzel rocks? Yeah, I can. I go back and forth with it because I get I also get like sort of messages on the like, oh, I don't want blank space between when you're thinking. It's like that's usually why I have music on. But I'm happy to like also turn that off and keep that off as well. Or maybe find a better channel for it. Oh, in the chat, I have to pay them for that. I have to pay Pretzel Rocks for that. So, or turn it off, basically. That's the only thing. That's the reason, and that's the reason why you see it in so many different streamers in chat is because that's how they're making money. But we can just have silence for a while, and then that will clear up the chat too. Okay, so to do one string target. Okay, so I should get this string target is not this. This is just the target ID off of here. We now have you, and so you are an F64, and we have the target ID. Otherwise, we get none. Okay, so we get the assigned target. So we do let our target ID equals to you, but that's an option. So that we may not have a target, which means if we don't, we assign a target. So target ID equals get assigned target. Okay, so what if we do this? If let sum target ID equals you, just return target ID here, else. If we don't have an assigned target, I want to find a new target. So find target. And in this case, we're going to take in enemies. This one, if there is no target to find, that would be another option here. And then an F64. So is that true, or do I want to just return the full creep that I'm going with? Probably return the full creep. So we'll do this. You're a reference to a creep. Okay, so I want to loop through the enemies, and I guess like my priority here would be if you are I could just choose the first enemy, but I really want to take their healers out first. So this is gonna suck. I need to first loop through to see if they have any healers. And if they do, grab that ID. This is going to be multiple loops then through. Because like if they don't have any healers, oh, let's loop again and now find a non-healer. I could into state update our opponent. Okay, this might work. What if I do something like this? We have our game state. What if we put into game state pub enemy healers? So we're going to start with them. You're going to be a vec of F64. So enemy healer IDs. So we're going to start you off with empty. We save and we load you. That's fine. But then I want to pub function, so calculate, I guess like store enemies. So like store enemy IDs. We'll take in a mutable reference to self, and I don't need to return you at all. No, we'll do a result, but shouldn't have anything in it. Okay, so what's going to happen here? At the very end, we're going to have just a plain okay. In the middle, we're also going to have enemies be passed in. This is a vector of creep. All right, so I want to loop through all of the enemies. I'm going to do this as a normal loop because the try for each is kind of weird. So I'm going to do for enemy in enemies iter. I guess I could just do in enemies like that. Why are you unknown? Oh, because you don't know what a creep is. That's why. There we go. Okay, so I now have an enemy. I want to get its ID. So let enemy ID is equal to, okay, so enemy dot get the ID. That gives me a JS string. So then I want to do an as F64, which is an option. So then I want to do an okay or. We can then say error getting enemy ID, question mark, do that. And so now I have an F64 enemy ID, and I also need to know what type of enemy this is. So if it has healing abilities, it's a healer. That's all we really care about. If it has healing abilities, it is a healer. So, which is kind of strange because ours is not, right? So I almost want another private function to sort of determine what this is. And I probably want an enum for an enemy role. So we have role here. I have my role. I want an enemy role. So let's do. So we have healer is what we're starting with first. Oh, which, you know what? We can put this directly on here. We'll do a from. So pub healer and sort of unknown. It's like anything else. impl. We can do a try from. All right, so this is error. Okay, so try from a creep. Okay, so I want to loop through the body. This is going to be interesting. So if I do creep dot body, okay, that gives me a vec of body parts. Okay, perfect. So we'll do for body part in creep dot body. I don't need to take ownership of that. That gives me body part. And now I need to convert this into a part. And then I can match that to sort of see if it's what I think it is. So we can, we're going to match body part dot part. Fill the match arms. And here's all the parts that it could possibly be. Okay, if it's a move, I don't care. Move is going to be a continue. So anything that we don't know, you are continue. If we reach the end of the loop, then we're going to return a self unknown. An okay self unknown. Okay. Move, don't care about you. Work, don't care about you. Carry is most likely a worker. So this is a collector. So you are a self collector. I'm going to return. Ooh, no, I don't want to return out of there. I want to return right here. So return. Okay, that's attack. Okay, so you're melee. And then we're going to have ranged. Ranger. Self melee. Ranger, tough, don't care about, and then heal is a healer. Okay, so it's really going to be what it finds first, and if um, if something has like a heal part that's like really close to the front, or if they only have heal parts, then I want to just kill them, like kill them quick. So that'll be like, okay, we found that first, let's go. We return this. Otherwise, we return that it's an unknown. We don't know what this is. We'll save those for last, probably. So we can now try from into the role, which means in here, store enemy IDs, we want to get the role so that the enemy role is equal to enemy role try from the enemy, and there we got that. Okay. Then we can match this. So if you're a healer, we're going to do self dot enemy healer IDs and push enemy ID. And the unknown sort of go in here too, but we should definitely collect them here. So pub enemy IDs, pub enemy. So we have the healer IDs. I'm also going to put, I guess, like melee. Melee IDs. So vec F64. Pub enemy ranger IDs. Enemy collector. And then, okay, so healer, melee, ranger, collector. What else am I missing? Healer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So unknown. So pub enemy unknown IDs. So at the very end, whatever we don't know what it is, they just go inside of there. And so we need to duplicate you now a bunch of times. Oh yeah, and your semicolons. Okay, you're happy there. Okay, so we push you in. Okay, unknown. Self dot unknown IDs, push enemy ID. Self dot collector IDs, push enemy ID. Okay, so that's all here in store enemy IDs, so we can start running that on mod. As soon as we have all of our enemies, we can start doing that. So we can say nope, we can't do that until after we load game state here. Then we can say game state dot store enemy IDs and pass it a reference to the enemies. Okay. Then run military. We're going to want to take in the game state. Okay. All right, so what do we've got? We have our game state. Get assigned target. Okay, so we get the target ID. Otherwise, we want to find a target. So we're going to take in, I don't actually care about this, right? Because our target I want to assign. I just need the target ID. I just need the target ID. So, you are going to be a result option F64. So, if we can't find any targets out of the game state, so we're going to take in game state too. Okay, so we need to check game state to see. Give me like the first one that like makes sense to us. So if game state dot enemy healer IDs if you're not empty, then give me just the first one. So we can do okay. Game state dot enemy healer IDs. Just give me the first. Which is now missing an else clause. So if we reach the very end, we get an okay, none. You're upset, mismatched types because, oh yeah, look at this. Is this don't want it to be like a reference to an F64. I was hoping that this would just work, but it's an option. I think I can do like an as. No, it's the opposite. As deref. No, that's the same thing. I could clone it, I suppose. Or we can just say, you know what? We know you exist. Just here. Just take the first one out. Oh, right. And then you are some. Like that. Okay. So if you're not... Okay. So else if not game state dot enemy. Okay. So if you're not... If there's no healers, then I want to take out the next dangerous thing would be the ones that can do the most damage at the same time, which would be the melees. So let's take out the melees. Is empty. Then okay, some. Okay, so let's do else if game state dot enemy rangers are next. Okay, so if you're not empty, turn okay, some game state dot enemy ranger IDs 0. And then finally, else if not game state. So this is the unknown IDs. This is probably a much better way for me to do this. Okay, so I'm going to return an ID. I'm just going to return the first one right now. We can put some logic in to find the closest one if we want to. That would take a little bit more time, more cycle time up if we want to do that. For right now, we're just going to say maybe the first one that was created, go and just kill it. Okay, so then that comes to here. We want to find target, except this is going to return a result, so I can question mark that, but then an option. This is interesting. So I kind of want to like if let none equals, because like what happens if there is no target to attack? If there's no target, that means, well, actually, you know what? Enemies is empty. Okay, there is a target. There must be a target at this point in time. Okay, so never mind. So there is a target, so I can kind of safely unwrap it. So we're going to find target, pass it in a reference to game state, question mark u, and then okay or error getting enemy target ID from game state. And that's what we return. Okay. Oh, and question mark. Okay, so now we have a target ID. I want to assign that target ID to our creep. So we have the get assigned target. Let's go ahead and assign a target. So we'll take in our creep and we'll take in a target ID, which is an F64. All right, so what are we going to do here? We're going to say, we're going to use the reflect API again. So reflect. Oh, and you know what? Find target. The assigned target happens right here, right? So I want to let target ID is equal to this. I'm going to return this, but in the middle here, we're going to assign it to our creep. So that way we have the target ID here. Then we can do all the fun things. So okay, so reflect. We're going to set target is the creep property key. JS value from stir target ID, and then the value going to be a JS value from F64 target ID. Now set you return a result, but it's like not a real result. I want to convert this. Okay, so this is okay. We're going to do if let error. I don't really care what this is. Equals to you. Then we're going to bail. Error setting target ID on creep. Okay, so that will set our target ID onto the creep, so it's there now. So we have a target ID. I now need to get the enemy creep by this target ID, which is probably going to be another option. So let's create another function for this. So function get enemy by ID. We'll pass in the target ID, and we'll pass in enemies. And we're going to return an option with a reference to a creep inside. Okay, we're going to loop through our enemies. So for enemy and enemies. All right, so we have to find the ID and then get the ID off of it, which is fun. Okay, so let's, I guess, like ID equals, okay, so enemy dot, okay, so ID as F64 okay, or they're getting enemy ID. Okay, that gives us our ID. So if they're the same, so if target ID is equal to ID, return okay, no, some enemy. So early return. If we reach the end, we return a none. We didn't find it. Yeah, okay, fine. We need a result. So you're an okay. Enemy like this, you're an okay, none, and you are then just happy with that. Okay. So get enemy by ID can now happen here. So if let sum our enemy creep is equal to get enemy by ID, pass it in the target ID, pass it in the enemies. Why aren't you giving me any help? Oh, right. It's the wrong thing. So question mark U, that unwrap. Okay, there we go. Now I have the enemy creep here. So I want to just run up and attack it. So move towards it and attack it. So we're going to do creep dot move to enemy, none, and creep dot ranged attack enemy. And I don't really care about those return codes. Now, otherwise, if we couldn't find the enemy creep, that means we've already killed it. It's dead. So we want to unassign the target. So function unassign target. We'll take in creep, and I don't need any of that. So we're going to just do. Do I really? Yeah, I should totally unassign. So results. Let's do I want to for enemy and create. Okay, so how do I delete something? We want to reflect delete property. Allows delete properties is like the delete operator as a function. Okay, so object is going to be creep, and then the key is going to be reference to JS value from stir, and this is target ID. So if let error equals this, I want to bail and just say error deleting target ID from creep. Otherwise, we're okay. Yeah, we're okay. Why are you upset? Mismatch types expected a JSys object. So I have to turn this into an object. That's find there is like a get there's get objects, get object by ID, and maybe we can do creep.id. You return a game object, but you want, oh, weird. Okay, so that's, oh, great. Okay, so delete property takes in an object. I want to convert this into an object. I was really hoping that I can set this to something else. I almost want to just set this to, okay, what happens here? So when I get assigned target as F64, okay or none. So I can set it to not an F64, and that would actually work, wouldn't it? So let's do this again. So this is gonna be reflect set target is gonna be the creep. Then target property key and value. Okay, so then there's that, and then we're gonna do JS value. Can I do like undefined? Can I do null? Here, we'll just set you to null. Here you go. We're in Rust. We can use nulls in Rust. Like, I don't know why people say that Rust doesn't allow you to use nulls. We're using it right here. This could never cause any problems. Never, right? Like, that's why nulls exist. Okay, so we unassign the target, which totally does what anybody would expect it to do. And then we want to, okay, so if we don't find the enemy at all, we want to unassign target, pass it the creep, question mark U, and we're good to go. All right, so then that just moves it to, so we move to our enemies and we attack them. We just keep on attacking them, but as soon as we get damaged, we move away from them and we run away. And that's it. Okay. I could do some funny things where I like have it move left and right and up and down. Let's try this to begin with. I don't know if it's going to allow us to win or not, but we'll see. So there's no errors in here. looks like I've saved all my documents. So let's find out. What do you all think? Do you think we're gonna win? We didn't win right away, so there's that. We do hit for a very low amount of damage, so it's actually possible that even with us just like hit, run away, even if we all survive, it's possible that we don't do enough damage before they just run over and just kill our spawn. So it's possible we lose even if we do everything right. So defeat 1732 ticks though, so we last I think longer. Let's watch the replay and see what happens. So, arrogant the enemy ID, okay, because they don't exist yet. So that's fine. But that is, oh no, that is causing a huge problem because it's not just a warning, it's a full error. So game state line 88. Because for enemy and enemies, because they're being created, which means I can't store them yet. So, well, that's fun. Okay, fine. We'll do an if let enemy ID. So this is going to be a sum. Enemy ID equals this. And you as S64. If we get access to you, then we run all. Don't hit spacebar. Then we do you. Otherwise, if let some enemy equals this, that means the enemy is being created but hasn't been spawned yet. And this is a bug that's in the main library. Enemies that are spawning don't seem to have IDs, which really sucks. And I don't know if there's anything that like we could do about that. If JavaScript doesn't see it as an ID, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so if I just do that, I think that fixes it. And maybe everything will work again. That's the reason why I do all of those error logs like that, is because even in the case of like, oh yeah, it's definitely guaranteed to work, there's those times when it's like, oh right, except that one little tiny period when it doesn't work that I didn't think about. But because I had the error message, I was able to really quickly go out and take a look at it. So, all right, let's see. Things happen the way we expect it to. Okay, so everything is working now. We start build up. Error getting enemy target ID from game state. So hold on. Are you created yet? Oh, I do have an enemy here. So I should be getting them. So error getting enemy target ID from game state. Run military line 34. So find the target. Okay, so in find target, you're empty, 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 empty. Okay, none. Because you're a none. That must be what it is. You're a none. Because everything else is get me the first one, which would be a sum. And in 34, Okay, or so that's a none. So error getting enemy target ID from game state. So not what we wanted. Okay, so then run military happens down here after we load up all of those. So it's not must have them, right? Let's see. So if it's a none, it doesn't think it's any of those things. Hold on. So find target, game state. So I want to warn. Let's format game state. Let's see what we have in game state. I believe game state implements debug, right? Oh, right. You need to be. I think we tried warn with debug mode, and I don't think it worked. So game state doesn't implement debug. Well, we can change that. Game state, you implement debug. No errors. Let's find out what we have in game state. Okay, so we have to move forward a little bit. Okay, we definitely have some enemies now. So, okay, game state. Have initial collectors. We have 3 initial collector positions, initial collector IDs. Oh, this goes off to the right. All right, empty arrays for enemy healer IDs, enemy melee IDs, enemy ranger IDs, collector IDs, and unknown IDs. So right now you have carry. You have carry. And you have ranged attack. So we should definitely have some things in there. So our game state that figures this out is incorrect. So all right, store enemy IDs. So for enemy and enemies. So I am running store enemy IDs, right? Store enemy IDs, and we pass it in a reference to the enemies, which is get creeps here. That happens every single tick. Oh, I see that this might be a problem. I'm gonna want to reset the store enemy IDs too. That'll be a thing because they're gonna grow a lot. Because I am turning this into a string, and I'm just blindly pushing in each time. I should probably reset this. Let's just do this as another function. So pub function reset enemy IDs. So I want I want just you. You just be equal to an empty vector. Yeah. Just going to reset the enemy IDs here really quickly. So this is in mod. So before we store the enemy IDs, we do game state dot reset the enemy IDs. Okay, cool. All right, so great. Now, store enemy IDs. Once again, though, that isn't pushing them in. Otherwise, we would have seen just a bunch of numbers in here. So we loop through the enemies. So first of all, are we seeing any enemies in here? And it's possible also that this is failing, the as F64. It shouldn't, though. So, okay, first of all, let's do... I'm assuming it's going to go in here, but if I don't see a warning, then that's clearly a problem. So we're going to do warn enemy ID, like storing... Well, actually, we know it can't be getting... Well, no, because it might be... I mean, we'll try from... the try from... That would have become self-unknown, right? And we don't have any unknown states. So it is guaranteed not running this code. So either enemies is empty and it's not in the loop, or it's a none when getting the enemy ID. Well, that's fun. So let's first check here. We'll do we'll do warn storing enemy IDs. This can be enemies.length. Let's see. Let's see if this number is ever greater than 0. Okay, look at that. Storing 0 enemy IDs, storing 1 enemy IDs. Okay, so it is definitely greater than 0. So that's good. Okay, so good to know. So then inside of here, so we're definitely getting here, which means that the enemy ID as F64 is not working. So, well, this kind of sucks. Enemy.id. I wonder if I can, because I don't think I can do that, right? You don't let me. Maybe you do. Try enemy.id. Oh, right. We're gonna do the type of. So enemy ID dot JS type of as string. Okay, or error getting type of. So this is now. Sylvie, what's up? Enemy ID type. I thought that it was going to be a number, but maybe it's a string now, as opposed to an F64. I'm now confused. Okay, so then you are question mark. What are you upset about? Oh, enemy type. Like that. There you go. So you should be upset. You should be happy now. Let's watch this. Libby, hi. You have to be a string, don't you? Why are you a string now? You were an F64 before. Now you're a string? Okay, so you're you're a string. I wonder if I reflect it off, if it's a I could swear I was getting the types and it was an F64. Um, but okay, weird. Of course, we're taking a mandatory cat break. All right. I'm going to sit down, Zilby. We'll see if you. Okay, so all right. So you're a string. Yes, Zilby. He's standing on the keyboard now. So, oh, Zilby, you can't lie down there. I know it's warm. Okay, so let's take a look at what this enemy ID is. So if we do this, enemy IDs, ID, JS type of, okay, so we know you're a string now for reasons. So we're gonna get ID as string. Okay, or error getting ID. That should let us see what that is. I bet it's a string of the number. I bet that's what it is. But okay, let's find out. Enemy ID 10. It's a friggin' number and string format. Because of course it is. Okay, cool. So I need to parse this. Okay, so enemy ID as string. So this is a stringified enemy ID. Now I want to turn this into a number. So let enemy ID equals F64 parse. Oh, is it the other way around? Is it enemy ID? It gives me a result. So parse question mark U, which then figures out that needs to go into an F64, or it parses out and we get an error there. Let's see if that works. And then you go away. We don't need you anymore. Okay, let's try this again. I want to at least like attack, and even if like we just die, I want at least try. Okay. No major warnings yet. That's a good sign. Spawning military units. So let's pause here. What have we got? Okay, we're getting error getting enemy ID. But now we see ID showing up here. Enemy ranger IDs 13, enemy collector IDs 10, 15. Okay. So that part is working. So we're storing them correctly again. Our next error is error getting enemy ID at run military line 93. So 93, do this ID. So you are as a string because of reasons. So this string, okay, or error getting enemy ID string. And then I want to parse into an F64. There we go with that. Okay, so then that should make you happy and not have any errors. And I don't think we need to... Where was that log? Where was that warning? Right here, game state. Get rid of you. And try again. And let's see, this time, do we go and attack their healers and other things? All right, so skipping to like tick 100 or so. Why do I still have the game state in here? I thought I got rid of that. This doesn't tell me what line that was. Warn. So capture the flag, error message. Okay, so I don't actually see. Okay, we got no errors. Did I just run it too fast? I think I ran this too fast and it used old code before it finished compiling. Okay. Now let's try it and see whether or not this works. Spawning military units at like 90. You should come out and hey, you immediately take off. It might be good for me to like log out what what unit I'm attacking is. That might be nice. So don't know where I'm heading. I'm attacking most likely a ranger, but we'll see if I also attack a collector. Their healers haven't come out yet, so it's got to be one of those. All right, so let's they don't look like they've noticed that I've sort of started coming yet. So let's speed up. I'm on my way over. All right, let's now see what happens. Going after one of the rangers it sees. I'm just sitting there attacking, getting killed. What happened to if I am hurt? Run away. That didn't seem to do anything. So run military. All right. So at the beginning of here, if my hits is less than hits max. Heal and move to my spawn. Well, why didn't that do it? Oh, I then want you to run away. Okay, so return, just leave. I overwrote. I like continue to do all this stuff. I wanted to guard this and stop. So that might be a little bit better. So I'll like hit there, run away. Maybe I'll survive a little bit longer. There's a way supposedly in Creeps that I can put like a display up on the screen to sort of like see what's going on, and I'm able to put like what targets I'm going for, and whether or not they're healers or something else. Right, let's do this again. So to okay, so here's my first creep around here. So okay, much better. I'm hitting them. I'm not hitting them. The target that I'm going after is changing. That's too bad. Okay. I wonder if I should just find the closest enemy and that's my target. I kind of like that idea. So finding a target is not any of that other big nonsense, although I might still want to like sort of look through them. Um, if my find target, what if I just do taking the enemies and myself. So my creep. I want to find the closest target to me. So I don't know if that would be a search. No, enemy. Okay, so I want to do let creep dot find closest by path. Oh, it's this array. So let enemies array equals array new. We're going to push an enemy into this array. So that will be for enemy in enemies array push enemy. I don't care about what you did. Okay, so we're going to turn just an okay at the end here. Now I have this array I can find. So closest creep is equal to creep dot find closest by path. Positions is going to be a reference to the enemies array. You're an option, so if let sum okay, closest creep is that. Then I want to get the ID. Okay, then we do the entire thing where I return the ID. So we're gonna return a okay, no, a yes, an okay, and a sum. Let's just do this. 2 steps. So that ID is equal to okay, so closest creep. Shoot. Okay, we have to reflect the ID out of this. So we're gonna do reflect get target JS value. Okay, so I want closest creep. Key is JS value from stir ID. Okay, so you give me this result. So if let okay, you're a JS ID. I now need to convert you into the number that you are, and I have no idea if you're going to reflect as a string or a number. I think you reflect as a number. Oh, sorry, I think you reflect as a string because that's what the other things were. But I suppose we should find out. So we'll just do our plain warning right now. So type of JS ID is JS ID dot JS type of string. Okay, or error getting type. Let's see, question mark u. That. Okay, and you are a none. Okay, so I should, let's, two errors. Function takes 2 arguments. Right, find target now takes our enemies, and it takes creep, so myself. Okay. Type of ID. Okay, type of JS ID is string. Okay, that's kind of what I thought, but I wanted to just verify and make sure. Okay, so where's my warn? What am I doing here? Oh, it's down here. Get target, find target. Okay, so it is a string. So don't need you. So we have the JS ID. I want now the actual ID, so that the ID is equal to JS ID dot as string. Okay, or error getting ID. Okay, we get that as string. Is that one what? No, it's this one, like that. Then we parse. So then we parse you as an F64. Okay, so that gives us the ID. Finally. So then we get a return and okay, some ID. Else is a none, is an okay none. And then finally, else is an okay none. So this should now set the closest enemy to our creep after that entire fun thing is, after running away is done. So they should always be like kind of hitting the same thing. We're just constantly moving back towards home base until eventually they start like being able to push forward a little bit. So now let's see what happens. All right, so start spawning military units, moving forward. Okay, so here we are. One of ours started running away. Oh, then we're coming back again. Did I even get a shot off? I couldn't tell if I got a shot off. I think I did. We're so much faster than them. So I wonder. So it shows that we actually drawed this round. So we came and got a draw, which is not bad. I wonder if I just want to create like one of my enemies and just like go after that. It also makes me wonder, like, I lose against them or I draw against them. Yeah, okay. I see that I did hit them once. Their healers are going to keep them going. And they're never going to attack me because it makes it look like I'm attacking them. But slowly over time, I'm going to get more of these units up. I could get an extra attack on here to do a little bit more damage and then have dedicated healers run around and heal everyone. That might also work out too. And then also I could ignore ranged attack and just do melee attack and just go up and bonk, into everybody's head. Yeah, right now I don't do enough damage to do anything. So it's just going to be this stalemate forever. So, all right. This is cool and interesting. Let's see if we can get any fame at all since we're at the end. We're at the end of the stream today. Let's see if we can win one match against like a weak opponent. And like ignoring the fact that we are a weak opponent. Okay? We won against a system, so we get 1 fame points. Woo. What does that mean? Does it mean they don't do anything? So we're guaranteed to get 1 every time if we want? 385. I think yes, they didn't do anything at all. So we just go over and kill them. Okay. Well, that's cool. So you're always guaranteed to get 1 fame point if I want. Now, the idea here is that if I win a match, fame goes up by 1 more. If I lose a match, it goes down by 2. So if I end now, I have 1 fame point. If I continue, I might get 2, but I might get 0. And it's increasingly difficult, more and more increasingly difficult players. So let's see who I play as next. Let's see if I win. So 327. We're technically higher than that, but not very much. Not very much. And defeat. So we have 0 fame points now. And every single match is going to be harder than this one. So let's see how we lost. Okay, so we're on the right-hand side. What are they doing? So they created a bunch of construction zones right away. These are walls. Okay, so they're creating walls and a tower here. And then they put extensions all over the map here too. On their side. Interesting. They're going to use a lot of this. Okay, they're refilling their spawn. So they're not building these right away. They just have construction sites. They're starting to build a tower here. They're going to get a tower up before I get over there. And they filled up the tower. And oh, my creeps. Oh, I didn't even notice they had this army. So we're doing our normal thing, but now the problem is that they are just attacking with a turret too, which kind of sucks. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to come up with a different strategy then to handle something like this next time. Um, None of their creeps are that big, but because they're building out into the middle, they're gonna have much more energy than we are because they're gonna be able to collect that and start dumping into it. So that's very interesting. And so I'm on the full retreat now because I took a lot of damage. All right. Well, something interesting to think about for next time. I might try to run a few more of these to see if I can build up some fame. How close are we to being able to unlock the next match? I kind of want to try collect and control next. So if I look at my inventory, to build a new key, I need 87 more key fragments, which is... Oh, no. I have key fragments. To create a key fragment, I need fame. I just need like 87 fame, I think. I think it's like a 1-to-1. So I need 87 more fame, which is either 87 more days of one, or we have to actually start winning. Capture the flag. I don't think. I don't know. We can try one of those. I don't remember if we win these anymore, or we could win the one against the system. And maybe we can get 2 fame points, and I'll take that. I could also run these every day, and okay, yeah, we victory against the system, yay! Okay, let's try one more. I don't remember what our bot does for this one. I don't think it's that brilliant. Defeat, yeah, okay, so we get 0. Cool. All right, so what I'll probably do is I might run just to get some like free frame each day. But I'll probably try to think about the spawn and swamp and try to like decide like where are we? What can I do better? Like how could I make that bot a little bit better in attacking for next time, for next Sunday. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. We do these Screeps streams every Sunday. Next week, yes, I'll still be here. 2 weeks from now, I will be away, and so therefore I won't be able to stream. On tomorrow morning and all of next week, so Monday, Tuesday, not Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I will be streaming in the morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And we're working for an hour and 15 minutes before my daily job on a U.RS web application. So if you're interested in web development, I'd love to see you there. It's all Rust. It's Rust all the way down. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.